Good evening, Franklin Township. This is PJ Parker from the Franklin Reporter and Advocate, and we are here today at the Municipal Building on DeMott Lane. We are about to celebrate something in the Municipal Chamber of the Council Chamber tonight, but leading up to that, there's a very important issue that we have been aware of now for several weeks. And we can see before us, we have signs here that are all over our community. Hate has no home here. And that is a declaration of intent, purpose, and heart of this community. This was inspired by language that is common language to all of us, nonetheless presented in a way that was found to be offensive, defamatory, and in need of recognitionally responding to it. So we have here today these signs that are in beautiful colors, and we are going to introduce you to people you know and a few people that you don't know. We have Assemblyman Joe Danielson, Mayor Philip Kramer, Councilman Ed Potosnik. We have our guest Isaiah Harris, right, and Miss Gail Nelson from Franklin High School. And I'm going to let Joe Danielson, he and Mayor Kramer and Ed Potosnik banded together and decided this was a positive message for all of Franklin to embrace. And the result are signs that you will see all over our community. We will invite you, and they will invite you as to where to take these signs on your homes and display them proudly. Assemblyman Danielson, your take.
Thank you, PJ, and thank you for the Franklin Reporter and Advocate for always being on scene in Franklin Township. The concept of this sign was not our idea. Frankly, if you walk through any school in Franklin Township, you'll see the walls plastered with signs that are sharing messages that benefit all children, all community members. We, through conversation, wanted to make some sort of sign iconic to what Franklin Township represents, and this is one of the best messages that we could think of. So Mayor Kramer, Councilman Potosnik, and I discussed the matter, and we decided to purchase these signs on our own and offer them to our residents to proudly display.
In essence, though, we do need to acknowledge that it was definitely inspired. This doesn't come out of a vacuum. And when it is inspired in a manner that is perceived as hateful and discriminatory, this is how we rise, Franklin. And these signs are the end result of that. We again encourage you to make sure you get one.
We've been contacted by hundreds of people online and directly. People want these signs. So we've put in additional orders, hundreds of more signs, and we probably will put a third order in. And, they will arrive soon. You'll see more of them out in our community.
Okay. Well, we thank you for your participation as usual. Joe Danielson is always at your service, and he's always putting Franklin Township first. So we do appreciate that. I know you need to run, so thank you for being here for this live stream today. And we know you stand behind this sign.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. And next we have Mayor Philip Kramer, who was outraged, rightfully so, at the inspiration for this sign. I'm going to let Mayor Kramer tell his side of this.
Well, the inspiration to me has been started years ago, really came to a crescendo during the election. It was a major issue for one party, and they just kept beating that drum, and it's remained at that level since. There's a portion of our community that's being receiving hate, receiving negative comments, and I just wanted to let them know that we're with them, that they are not other, they are us. They are Franklin, and they're welcome.
We are all Franklin.
We are all Franklin. They are Franklin too, is what I'm saying. They're not excluded. They are not other. They are us.
By they and them and the community that's being targeted, I think it's disingenuous for us not to acknowledge that we do refer to the gay community and the transgender community who are in Franklin Township and are Franklin Township. So I did want to mention that this did inspire these signs. And I think it is very, very important for this to be known. Tonight, there's going to be a resolution introduced during the town council meeting, and we'll let Ed Potasnik tell you about that. Would you like to add something, Mayor Kramer?
Franklin is a place of welcome. It's not a place of hate. Has no home here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. These are beautiful, colorful, and to the point. Ed Potasnik. Ed Potasnik is our first openly gay councilperson, and openly gay, whatever Ed is, he's openly gay, but he is openly Ed Potasnik, no matter where he goes. And we knew Ed would be involved in this because he speaks a truth that transcends gender, that transcends gender identification. Ed, tell us your side of this.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank folks in Franklin for standing up and showing their support for the LGBT plus community, particularly the transgender community, as you mentioned. I think it's inspiring for all of us, and whatever your background is, if you're in some way marginalized, meaning you're a smaller piece of the pie and, you know, sort of feel outweighed by a majority, that Franklin has your back. And as I go around town and folks are interested in getting a sign, you can email me directly from the email on the website. We've delivered, over 100 of these signs. We have more on order. There are so many people that are willing to display something that right now is unfortunately increasingly unpopular and targeted with hate and vitriol and even violence. And what Transgender Day of Visibility is people standing up and making themselves be seen so that folks know, oh, there's someone in my community that's part of my community, part of my family, and they are just like me and part of the fabric of our community. And, Harvey Milk said many years ago, it was really important for gay people to come out of the closet, gay and lesbian people, so that people could see who they were. And if they were hiding, then they wouldn't know anyone. They would feel very uncomfortable. And he did a lot of activism to get people to come out. And with that, they were able then to fight and be known. Transgender population is smaller, so there's less folks. And right now it's even more dangerous. But I think in Franklin, what we're displaying with these signs is, we got your back. It's a comfortable, supportive community. But I still say it's not easy to be open and honest and transparent and visible as a transgender person. And so we want more welcoming, more inclusion.
And in addition to that, I was speaking with someone else who's fairly prominent in the community today about these signs, and that we were going to be gathering to be talking about it. And his comment to me was, well, I wish they'd stop pushing this gay stuff. I almost had nothing to say, but if you know me, that didn't last very long. I think it's very, very important to establish the fact that being gay is not something one chooses. One is born to be gay or not to be gay. You do not choose your eye color. You do not choose your skin color. You do not choose your preference as to who you are as a sexual being. I think that's very important for people to understand, because it is not a lifestyle, it is a life. And here in Franklin Township, all lives matter. So Ed, I know there's something going on at this council meeting that you're very proud of, that you've introduced.
Yeah, so the resolution basically acknowledges Transgender Visibility Day, calls out the great contributions of the transgender community, and also the future struggles, the struggles we have today, the work that we need to do to make sure there's equality and access to healthcare. We see attempts by the Trump administration to roll back in critical medical treatments for our military, to make folks not be able to receive the care that they're entitled to. And that's a problem. And that means all of us need to stand together to be united and call that shameful act what it is, wrong. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to celebrate the progress we've made, but also look ahead to the challenges and the work we have to do together. You'll hear from Dr. Nelson, what she's doing in the school, and the challenges with young people. These are real. And as a community, we can help to make life easier. And if you're a student or a young person or an adult that's struggling, Ellen DeGeneres and others had the It Gets Better project. It does get better, and we're here to make sure that it is better for you. And to me, that's also a call to action. Suicide rates for transgender individuals are much higher than the general population, and that's a problem because society doesn't accept their gender identity, and that's a problem, and it doesn't need to be. And we can work to fix that, and that's really what today's about.
Well, I totally agree. And I think the openness to be who you are, that's not a Pollyanna approach. That's the reality, folks. That is who people are from birth. And I could no more be a gay person than Ed could be a straight person. And it's not because I would think it would be fun to try to be gay for a day. It would never be who I am. To be not gay is never what Ed Potosnik would ever choose to be. And his friend Isaiah, who he's about to introduce. This is not a choice, Franklin, and I think education and the responsibility to obtain that education, to know who your neighbors are, to know who your Franklinites are, and to open your hearts to the reality of this. It's not a choice. Ed, please introduce Isaiah. He's so adorable. Oh my God, the glasses alone.
Well, I had the great pleasure to get to know Ashley Isaiah Harris, a graduate of Franklin Township High School in 2004, a member of the transgender community, lives here in Franklin Township and has been an outspoken individual. And today's Transgender Day of Visibility, we're going to, that's for the March 31st. It's on the agenda today to recognize that. And I'm so happy he was available and willing to come and speak about his experiences and what the signs mean to him, but also the recognition for the town and the municipal leadership.
And some of the inspirations that brought him to where he is right now.
That's right. And some of the experiences that, he had in school that are, we want to put in our rearview mirror with activism and also making sure our environments are inclusive. And that's what, Dr. Nelson's working on.
And the role modelness of him, I can see very much so in Franklin Township. So would you please introduce Mr. Ashley Isaiah?
Yeah, come on. I'll
Okay.
go step over here.
Okay.
You got it. Yeah.
This is Ashley Isaiah. Are you Isaiah officially? Isaiah officially. Okay, tell us who Isaiah is.
Isaiah is somebody that took some time to be comfortable saying, "You are Isaiah." At 3 years old, I knew that I was trans, but I didn't understand what it meant. I was wearing boy clothes. I was stealing my brother's clothes. I remember the book socks that we used to put on textbooks, and I was using that as do-rags just because I wanted to be like the guys. And, I was in a box. They labeled me as gay. We have to understand that there's a difference between orientation and identity. When they were calling me gay, I said, "I'm not gay. I like girls, but I'm not gay." They said, "Well, that's gay because you're a female." I went with it, whatever. Lesbian didn't sound right. I said, "That's not me either." I tried to use the most derogatory terms for myself because nothing fit. I went from dyke to butch to finally just saying AG, which stands for aggressive. As a Black man, I don't like that term aggressive. I get called that a lot and it gets misconstrued a lot. But that's how I felt. I was angry. I was sad. I didn't know who I was. But under the professional licensed help of my therapist who saved my life. And I remember that one meeting where I said it out loud. I'm trans. I'm a man. And something set free. My heart exploded. The tears were falling, but it was joyous. And since that day, I decided to dedicate my life to my community, which is marginalized, vulnerable, so beautiful, passionate. See, trans is an adjective that describes a noun, person, place, or thing. We are people. I decided to transition my life so I can be the best version of myself that I have ever been. And here I am, thriving and making sure that I can be a positive impact and representation for all people whose voices haven't been heard. Shouldn't matter what color you are, what orientation you are, or how you identify. Life is short, so let's have a good time, but let's do it safely. And let's challenge transphobic behaviors with signs like these. We can not add on to the negative rhetoric, but instead lead with passion, compassion, kindness, and grace. So today, holding this sign, I'm Franklin Strong, I'm Franklin Warrior, and I'm here. I'm here for my community.
And with the best smile in the universe. Oh my goodness. One of the things I'm sure is floating around out there is what made you take the radical physical step? Did you feel that that was absolutely a requirement for you to complete your transition?
Thank you for that question. It's very important, and I'll share with my community because I want to be open with my community. It absolutely had to happen for me because I tried to take my life 2 times. I remember putting on binders, and then that started feeling like I'm hiding myself. I already felt hidden through most of my life. Why do I want to hide anymore? And the 2 times that I attempted to take my life, it didn't work. And it didn't work for a reason and for a purpose. Now I understand this is bigger than me. It's for my community. It's for people who haven't found their voice. And every day that I wake up above ground, first of all, I praise God for not making the mistake, because here I am, but also giving me the strength and the courage to be an impact for my community and hold the hands of others that are not ready yet, but need somebody to talk to. I have listening ears, and I have a shoulder ready for whoever wants to talk. That's what inspired me.
Well, you are an incredible inspiration. And that's, again, I can't emphasize this more, Franklin. This is an act of incredible courage, just the physical transition alone, but then the community transition and the self-acceptance that you have achieved, that you are so clearly confident in. And that makes such a difference. The other point that continues to irritate me is how people feel threatened by your choice. That does not, you choosing who, and again, wrong word, it's not a choice. You being who you are. The choice is making yourself accepting of that reality of yourself. It does not hurt me in any way. I should be celebrating that one of my fellow human beings in Franklin Township is real and standing up for himself, being who he is.
That's it.
And that's a gift for all of us. That is a celebration that the freedom to be who you are is manifested in a gentleman like Isaiah. So I'm thrilled to have met you. Thank you so much for being part of this discussion today. Carry this sign proudly. I know you
Proudly,
will. I know
proudly.
you will.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And I would like you to switch places with Ms. Gail Nelson. Gail is one of our Franklin High School treasures. Gail works very closely with the LGBTQ school population. And I remember, I guess it was a year ago when we started talking about it. And what came out of that, which stuns me to this day, when Gail told me, we really can't do that because some of these students' parents don't know. I was so stunned by that. Gail, tell us what you do and the kids you work with and some of the problems that you've encountered and some of the benefits of working with you.
Okay. So I'm Dr. Gail Nelson, and I am advisor to the PACE Club at Franklin High School. So PACE is an acronym for Protect, Accept, Care, and Educate. And those terms were from the students who wanted to start the club. I was honored that they asked me. I admit I was a little scared because I didn't know a lot, but helping each other in that education part, I'm fine. Some of the problems that I see with the kids at Franklin High School is that the students who parents don't know, we have to provide a safe space within the school. If we're truly going to be a school community, then we have to act like they're a part of that community. We can't be like, well, they ain't my cup of tea, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. We're all human. And we all deserve to be loved and respected, whether you agree with whatever a person is doing. So my goal with the club and the students that I work with is to provide that safe space, provide the openness that they need to discuss what they need to discuss. And we have a code, what goes on in that meeting stays in that meeting unless we want the public to know about it. So everyone in there respects each one's voice, which is very important because although a student may be trans, their journey may be different than the next trans person. And we have to understand that each person has a different chapter in this book of life. So I'm proud of the students who stand up for themselves. I'm proud of myself that I can be an asset to them when they need an advocate. And we're going to continue to do what we're going to do. Now, I am the in-school support teacher, and with the budget cuts and everything going on, I may not be that in that capacity anymore. So I'm a little concerned about where this safe space will be. But as an advocate, I'm going to advocate for that. I don't have a problem with it. I'm going on 64. What am I scared of? I'm almost 6 feet tall. What am I scared of? And those kids have been so supportive and so kind and so grateful that when they're going through something in school, they can come in and just do a woosah, just let their breath out. They don't have to say anything to me. I already know the code. I already know what's going on. And sometimes it's just that little moment of, let me collect myself and go back out into this community who should be accepting, who should be caring. So I don't want to hear that we're a village and we engage everyone. Do it. Talk is cheap. I look at action. You could talk all the talk. I'm a great talker. But if I'm not doing what I say I'm doing, then I'm a fake. I'm a fraud. And I choose not to be that for the students because I understand that moments can be very fragile. And like Isaiah said, I've dealt with kids who've called me in the middle of the night somewhere in Franklin, like, Doc, I just need you to talk me through it. I need you to talk me through it. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up. We're talking through this thing. We are going to talk. I've cooked a whole meal at 3 o'clock in the morning to keep myself up so I can make sure that that kid was safe. It doesn't matter my sleep because I can always take a nap. What matters to me is that I breathe life into someone who wanted to end it all because they're not accepted. And that's not good. That's not okay for me. That's not okay for me as a teacher, as a mother, as a grandmother. I'm very open with my own kids. Come to me when you have something. I love this thing on Facebook I see. No judgment zone. Say what you need to say, get it off your chest, and we'll work through it together. And I appreciate the students that, even the allies are wonderful at Franklin High School. They really are. They support our students, and they make sure they are protected. So I do see that village coming together. And that's the blessing in and of itself. I don't have time for people who want to be judgmental, who want to be this, because I know my own journey, not like in the trans world or just being a gay or anything, but just being a Black woman. Just waking up every day Black, dark-skinned Black, which I love this chocolate, but just waking up every day knowing that I have to face some silly remark or whatever. I've grown through it because I had supportive people around me. And that's important. If a child doesn't have the support at home, we got to do it at the school. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how many papers you mark. I don't care if you ain't birthed that child. You have to be there or get out of the profession. We are a caring profession. So care, protect, educate. I went to the best trans workshop conference in Philadelphia. It's done by the Mazzarni Center. Oh my goodness. I learned so much there because we never think about, I forget the correct term, where people have both sex. Intersex, right. We never think about those people. And I attended a workshop where it was a girl from Russia. And in Russia, that's a lot to deal with. It was only I think she said 10 of them at the time that identified as that, and they would meet and have their own little summit because that's the only support they had. And she said, at birth, my dad wanted a son, so I was raised as a boy, but I developed as a woman. And that to me is like trauma, like in and of itself. And then you're in a place that is not accepting. So I always think like I'd rather breathe life into a child than to write them a death sentence and say something that's so rude and critical that that child walks away from me and I wake up the next day and something has happened to that child. That's going to be on my mind. So I'd rather breathe all the breath I can. I want to be rested, like you help me breathe, it's all about support. It's all about get over yourself. Get over what you don't like. I always think about when my uncle used to prepare his ministerial speech sermons, and I used to read them, and he always used to write these little notes on the side. And he said, people better remember that God really never blessed nothing that was perfect and already, like, you didn't have to do anything to. He took the worst that we would consider of the earth, the drunkard, the whore, the this, the thief, and made them something wonderful. And that's when I look at my trans kids, that's what I see. That's the advocacy in me. You're going to be who you're going to be. You're going to rise up. You're just like the rest of us. And that's my story.
Oh, Gail, I'm just so proud to be an acquaintance of yours.
Thank you.
I really am.
Thank you.
This is a woman who's making a difference, Franklin. And I, for one, would like to see some sort of education that's prepared for adults
Yes.
and parents on the level of educating them to understanding the reality of gender choice, of being gay, being transgender, needing to be gay and needing to be transgender in order to be true to oneself. And the understanding that that absolutely must be throughout our community. We talk about Franklin being one family, one village. Let's walk the talk. So this has been so illuminating. I'm so happy to have met you both. Well, and I know Gail for a while, but Isaiah, thank you. It was so generous of you to be here today. And Ed, come on over here. I just want to show off the pink tie. Ed Potosnik, one of my favorite humans in the world. And today, tell us again, what's happening again today? Tell us, it's March 31st is Transgender Day. Tell us that.
Yeah, so March 31st is Transgender Day of Visibility. And it's a day where folks can look around and be like, oh, look, there's someone in my community who's transgender. And the idea is not just strength in numbers, but also folks understanding, oh, I didn't realize, and I loved you before I knew, or anything like that. So it's really important for our community to come together. We have a lot of supporters that are here today, a lot of folks across the town. If you're interested in a sign, please do reach out to me at councilmember.potosnik@franklinnj.gov, and we'll make sure we get one delivered to your house, or we can find a place for you to pick it up. But it means a ton to people who are transgendered, LGBT plus, questioning, and just other folks too. When you display a sign like this, how supportive you are, and what a great community we are.
What an accepting community we are of all of us who tried to be who we were meant to be, and needing the freedom to be able to do so. And that's, we have such a rich community right here. This is the rich community of support, of care, of understanding. And Franklin, let's educate ourselves. Let's be the acceptance community that we purport to be. So we want to thank you all for being here. Assemblyman Danielson had to run. Mayor Kramer is sitting in the council chambers where Ed Potosnik is about to go. And we are going to go join them and witness this resolution, which is wonderful. And we thank you all for being here and showing us your heart. We appreciate it. Yes, and we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that education thing, that a series for parents and for adults, so that we can better understand the rest of our community. This is PJ Parker, Franklin reporter and advocate. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please open your hearts, Franklin. We're all in this together. We'll be back.